Alright, back with chapter 12 of the Passover. It says, the Lord said to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, this month shall be for you the beginning of months, shall be the first month of the year for you. Tell all the congregation of Israel that on the 10th day of this month, every man shall take a lamb according to their father's houses, a lamb for his household. And the household is too small for a lamb, then he and his nearest neighbor shall take according to the number of persons, according to what each can eat. You shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male a year old. You may take it from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it till the 14th day of this month, when the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill their lambs at twilight. Then they shall take some of the blood and put it on the two doorposts and limited of the houses, or the intel of the houses in which they eat it. They shall eat the flesh that night, roasted on the fire with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. They shall eat it. Do not eat any of it raw or boiled in water, but roast its head with its legs and its inner parts. And you shall let none of it remain until the morning. Anything that remains until the morning you shall burn. In this manner you shall eat it, with your belt fastened, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And you shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt that night, and I will strike all the firstborn, or kill all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and on all the gods or the demons of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. The blood shall be a sign for you on the house where you are, and when I see the blood I will pass over you, and no plague will befall you to destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. So what God is saying here is, He's telling the Jews to put the Passover lamb's blood on their doorposts, so God can recognize them, of course, from the Egyptians. But the Egyptians, of course, don't have a Passover lamb on their doorpost. So whenever God passes over the land to destroy Israel, or to destroy Egypt, He destroys the Egyptians. He actually kills their firstborn sons, and He saves the Jews. That's what it's talking about. This day shall be for you a memorial day, and you shall keep it as a feast of the Lord throughout your generations. As a statute or as a rule forever, you shall keep it at a feast, 7 days or a week. You shall eat unleavened bread. On the first day you shall remove leaven out of your houses, for anyone eats what is leavened from the first day until the 7th day, that person shall be cut off from Israel. On the first day you shall hold a holy assembly. On the 7th day a holy assembly. This is talking about, of course, the Sabbath. Of course, the Jews who are not saved, they don't believe Christ is God, so they hold it on a Saturday. Of course, Christians who are saved, who believe Christ is God, who have been saved by God, who have been saved by God through Christ, we know that Christ actually rose from the tomb on a Sunday. So anyway, it says that on the first day you shall hold a holy assembly. On the seventh day a holy assembly. No work shall be done on those days, which is the Sabbath, Sunday. So we should not work on a Sunday because it's the Lord's day. But what everyone needs to eat, that alone may be prepared by you, and you shall observe the feast of the unleavened bread. For on this very day I brought your host out of the land of Egypt. Therefore you shall observe this day throughout your generations as a statute or rule forever. And the first month, from the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. For 7 days, for about a week. No leaven is to be found in your houses. If anyone eats what is leavened, that person will be cut off from the congregation of Israel. Whether he is a sojourner or a native in the land, you shall eat nothing unleavened. In all your dwelling places you shall eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called all the elders of Israel and said to them, Go and select lambs for yourselves according to your clans, and kill the Passover lamb. Take a bunch of hyssop or oil, and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and touch the lintel and the two doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. None of you shall go out of the door of his house until the morning. For the Lord will pass through to strike the Egyptians, or to kill the Egyptians. And when he sees the blood on the lintel and on the two doorposts, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not allow the destroyer to enter your house to strike you. You shall observe this right as a statute or a rule for you and for your sons forever. And when you come to the land that the Lord will give you, which is Israel today, as he has promised, you shall keep this service. And when your children say to you, What do you mean by this service? You shall say, It is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, for he has passed over the houses of the people of Israel and Egypt, when he struck the Egyptians or killed the Egyptians, but spared our houses. And the people bowed their heads and worshipped. And the people of Israel went and did so, as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. It says, the 10th plague, death of the firstborn. Now, of course, you could be asking yourself, why is God doing this to the Egyptians? Very easy answer. I mean, Pharaoh will not allow Israel to leave. So God's saying, if you won't allow my children to leave and go to their land, then I will come after your children. So there you go. God protects his children, man, every time. The 10th plague, the death of the firstborn. At midnight, the Lord struck down all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the livestock, even the animals. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, on the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where someone was not dead. Then he summoned Moses and Aaron by night and said, Up, go out from among my people, both you and people of Israel, and go serve the Lord as you have said. Take your flocks and your herds as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also. The Exodus. The Egyptians were urgent with people with the people to send them out of the land in haste, for they said, we shall be dead. So people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading bowls being bound up in their close on their shoulders. The people of Israel had also done as Moses told them, for they had asked the Egyptians for silver and gold jewelry for clothing, and the Lord had given the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they let them have what they asked. Thus they plundered the Egyptians, and the people of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, besides women and children. A mixed multitude also went up with them, and very much livestock, both flocks and herds. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough they had brought out of Egypt, for it was not unleavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not wait, nor had they prepared any provisions for themselves. The time that the people of Israel lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of 430 years, on that very day, all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. It was a night of watching by the Lord to bring them out of the land of Egypt. So the same night is the night of watching kept to the Lord by all the people of Israel throughout their generations. Institution of the Passover. What I'm talking about is, still today they still celebrate Passover, which we all know. Institution of the Passover. And the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, this is just the statute of the rule of the Passover: no foreigner shall eat of it, but every slave that is brought for money may eat of it after you have circumcised him. No foreigner or hired servant may eat of it. It shall be eaten in one house. You shall not take any of the flesh outside the house. You shall not break any of his bones. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. If a stranger shall join with you and would keep the Passover to the lamb, let all of his males be circumcised. Then he may come near and keep it. He shall be as a native of the land, but no uncircumcised person shall eat of it. There shall be one law for the native and for the stranger who sojourns among you. All the people of Israel did just as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, and on that very day the Lord brought the people of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their host. I'll be right back with chapter 13.